all right. Here we go. We are live, everyone. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to just be on the LinkedIn. We're trying to do a triple whammy here: LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube live stream. We're doing a live Q&A. If you have any questions about anything, I'm down to answer them. I also want to talk about more things that whatever y'all want to talk about, right? So I'm here for y'all. So I have a lot of really exciting news about like what we're going to be launching here in just a bit. So very soon we're going to be launching a full stack expert. So there's going to be fullstackexpert.io. That's going to be something that we're going to be launching pretty soon. Best resource to learn Spark, my bootcamp. So you can use code June 26th at checkout, and that will get you 25% off. You just have to use it by July 1st, and that will get you a good percent off here. And hopefully that will be something that y'all are ready to use. So let's go ahead and add the date range there. Sorry, I did not finish coupon creation. Okay, there we go. Awesome, it's now created. So yeah, let's see what other people are asking here. So hey Zach, classic question, but do you think AI will replace data scientists in the near future? It all depends on what you mean by near, right? Near is like a subjective term, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, right? It makes a big difference, right? And so I think that like it's going to change. I think it's going to change a lot. I think everything's going to change, right? I mean, that's the one constant in this world is change, right? So definitely get ready. I think data scientists who use AI are going to obviously be better, right? It's like AI still has a long journey ahead of it. Like I think we humans are still significantly far ahead, especially like if you're doing like genuinely creative data science and genuinely creative like work like that. I think that that's going to be where you're going to see a lot of impact, right? Where am I from? I grew up in small town Utah, and so yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I've been in the Bay Area for like the last eight-ish years. Right? How do you approach data modeling and data pipeline design rounds and interviews? Well, make sure to ask a lot of questions. Like really, data engineering interviews, a lot of times it's not really about like the answer that you get. It's the questions that you ask, right? And understanding like, can you actually get to the right like fact and dimension data model? I mean, I could spend a whole day on that, like just talking about like the right ways to do that. And I do. I have in my course, I go over like 20 hours of stuff. Oh, Sarab, your videos helped me clear 2 technical rounds for a high visibility DE gratitude of the highest order. That's amazing, Sarab. I'm so glad. Let's put this one up. When is the next boot camp? Next year. But I promise that there's going to be more exciting things. I mean, I actually like didn't really like my last boot camp in terms of like my energy levels. I did not show up nearly as powerful in V4 as I did in V3 and V2. And so like part of me is questioning whether or not that's the data or that's like the business model that I want to run with. And I think if y'all see the people who are making tens of millions of dollars, right? I think that those people are not doing boot camps. Those people are doing more like self-paced products and subscription-based models, right? Let's go see. Well, I like this one. What's the nastiest data engineering problem you've ever solved? I'll give you an example. I don't know if this is the nastiest, but it's a good anecdote. So like I was tasked with deduplicating notification data. So imagine every time you click a notification that logs a click event. Every time a notification is sent, it logs a send event. But you can see how you can click it multiple times. And we don't want to, if you click a notification multiple times, we only want to count it once. And so I worked at Facebook and I was working on notifications, and like the old pipeline, what it did was it was just a big giant Hive query. It was a giant Hive query that ran at midnight UTC, a big group by to just deduplicate, right? The problem with it is that Hive query took 9 hours to run. And so then, my manager was like, Zach, you should move this to a streaming architecture and it will be way more efficient. And the problem with moving it to a streaming architecture was that the amount of RAM that was necessary to actually do it in streaming was like way high. It was like 25 terabytes of RAM because it's every notification on Facebook, right? It's like on the order of hundreds of billions of records. And so like what we did instead was we moved it to like, okay, what if we deduplicate every hour? And then the problem with that is that all the other metrics were based on daily data, and duplicates can happen between hours as well. So like what we had to do was we had to move it to, we did an hourly group by, and then we also merged it. So first I was like, okay, we dedupe hour 1, then we dedupe hour 2, and then we merge hours 1 and 2. Then we dedupe hour 3, and then we merge hours 1 through 3. But the problem with doing that architecture is that like the amount of IO that happens there is like too high. So what you actually have to do is you have to dedupe it like a tree. So you have like, you dedupe hours 1 and 2 and merge them. Then you dedupe hours 3 and 4 and you merge them. And then you merge you merge the merge, like hours 1 and 2 merge with hours 3 and 4, and you do that merge next. And then you merge it down like a tree like that. And that's actually the most efficient way that I was able to solve that problem. And when I got that tree merge to work after like a month of trying so many other options, right? That was freaking, yeah, it was freaking madness, right? So there was no option to fix it upstream for the event stream. Yeah, just fix it on every interface that Facebook is on, right? So there is what you have, like Chrome, like web. You have iPhone, you have iPad, you have Android, you could fix the upstream system, but like removing duplicate notification clicks, that sounds like a very, very complicated thing to do across all interfaces at the same time. Like I'm not saying that there was no option. I just think that the option was very prohibitively expensive. Yeah. Have you read the book Designed the Data Intensive Application? Yes, you should read that book. It's very important. How important are machine learning concepts in data engineering? Very important. I found that like if you want to make over 250K as a data engineer, you probably need to be somewhere near machine learning, like especially knowing feature engineering and how like features and get plugged into a model. Like that edge is a very important part of like trying to understand the independent and dependent variables of a model. Super important. Mm-hmm. All right, let me say here. How do you manage access control to data sets and object storage? Did you ever implement attribute-based access control? Like just use an open source choice for that. Like don't like why are you rebuilding the wheel here? Like, I mean, just use Tabular. Tabular is pretty great. Tabular is a great data lake that gives you object storage, right? You can do object or tabular data storage, right? Yeah, Tabular is great. There's a reason why Databricks paid $1 billion for them, you know? So like, yeah, just let everyone know. I have some other exciting news here. So like, I'm going to be releasing a subscription product in about 2 weeks. It should be pretty exciting. It should make my content and my paid content a lot more affordable. But like, you just get shorter access. That's how it's going to work, right? So it's going to cost $200 a month. And you'll be able to get access to my content, and hopefully it motivates you to get all the content done in a month or two, because then you'd be able to do that. Because if you pay $200 a month, you'll actually end up paying more over the year. And so that's going to be a really great subscription product that will also get you access to like weekly speaker sessions where we talk with industry experts. Okay, what is this one? Hi, Zach. Is CDC a common thing in data engineering, or do we just need ETL? You need both. Like CDC is going to be bigger. It's like the cool thing about CDC is that like if it's done right, then like it's better than SCD, right? Because you have CDC and SCD are essentially the same thing. They're just looking at state changes, right? Where CDC captures the state change, and then SCD captures the current value, right? Would you advise for or against an EU student? Yeah, just come to America. It's better. I promise. It's the best place to work, especially if you're doing data. Like if you're doing data, just come to America. Like just do it. You'll make a lot more money. You'll be, you're going to grind it out. Obviously, like there's other things to think about. Like it all depends on what your priorities are, but yeah. As a platform DE, should I must advance in Python? Yes. Learn Python. Like insane that like if you're doing platform DE, just learn Python. Like even if you aren't using it in the platform, like it'll make you a lot better, right? Oh, here's a good one. I saw a post where you said you built a graph database with many vertex and edge types that helped with enhancing security. Do you go into how to tackle these advanced projects in your bootcamp? I mean, I don't like. it all depends on like what level of depth you're trying to ask here, right? So I definitely go all into graph data modeling. There's like 5 hours of content on just graph data modeling and how to build out graphs. And what we do is we build out a graph for like the NBA and all of the complexities of like players playing against each other. And so it's an interesting graph that we kind of build out. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to in 6 weeks teach you how I built all of that thing, because I mean, it took me 18 months to build the graph that I built at Netflix. So I'm not just going to teach you in a week how to do that, because it's not possible, right? So what are your thoughts on data vault approach for data warehousing? It's just not that popular. I don't know. Like it's popular in some places. It's just not that popular in other places. And like just like in other things, like when people are like, why do you not care about GCP? And I'm like, because like I teach and I talk about the most popular options and the ones that people use the most often. Data vault's nice for data pipelines that are mutating a lot more, where the business requirements are changing more rapidly than less rapidly. I found that like the Kimball kind of data modeling concepts do not scale quite as well for like very rapidly changing data sets. That's the one thing I would think that you might want to be thinking about. Let's see here. How and where should one implement the data quality in the pipeline? So there's a bunch of places you can go, right? There's pre-checks, which is where you check the data before your pipeline runs. And then there's post-checks, which is when you check your data, you check the data that you're writing out. So it's more important to do post-checks than pre-checks. Pre-checks are not quite as important, because like post-checks are going to be like your final data set. What does that look like, right? And so, and you can kind of run them in either spot. So in like for post checks, you have to use this thing called write, audit, publish, the write, audit, publish pattern, so that you don't publish bad data that fails checks and then the downstream pipelines read it. That's like the thing that you want. Okay, haven't got many interviews for DE in the US this quarter. Any tips? Apply more, like have a better LinkedIn, network more. I don't know, just like you're probably not getting enough reps in. Does senior data engineer eventually move to data architect role after 7 or 8 years of experience? So I was a senior data engineer for 1 year at Netflix. And then I switched to senior software engineer, then staff software engineer, then staff data engineer. Architect, like I don't like architect. I just don't. I guess like I don't really like it. I like staff data engineer better, right? So yeah, let's go and see some other things here. Data mesh versus data fabric thoughts. They're both just a little bit too far out. Those are like 3 or 4 years out, 5 years out. And like I saw like companies, like I've seen companies fail to implement data mesh, and like these ideas are just like not like they're not concrete enough to like really have teeth to them, I guess, and that's why I don't really like talking about them as much. Let's see here. Do I need to focus on things like Hadoop, Hive, HDFS for data engineering interviews today? Not really. I mean, it really depends though. It really depends on where you're interviewing. There are companies that use Hadoop. There are companies that don't use Hadoop. So like interview. That's why interview advice is terrible. Just letting you know. That's why interview advice is terrible, because really it depends. Like you need to say like a freaking very specific company, a very specific like thing. Like, do you need to know these things to get in at Airbnb? And the answer is no, you don't. I can specifically say that. But like for interviews in general, you may or may not be asked those questions. So, all right. Is there any way to update relational table using PySpark? Yeah, you can. Like in this case, I like to use on conflict update. So like you can use so you can do insert into your table, and then you say on conflict update. And that's a really solid way to do it. And I mean, there's probably better ways to do it now, but yeah, it's great. Let me say, for a dating website, what kind of data modeling would we use, dimensional or data vault? Again, it depends on like what it's more complicated than just the application, right? You have to know what your company's culture is and like how quickly you're trying to solve problems and how quickly the environment is changing, right? All those things matter as much, if not more, than like what the app is, right? So that's a big thing to think about, right? So I would say you probably want to lean into dimensional, right? And so that's going to be the way to go. Okay. So Rizwan is saying you mentioned in one of your posts that you were coming to India. So when and where in India? Asking so that we can catch up. It's gonna be in Q4. I don't plan that far ahead in my life ever. I'm never like buying plane tickets 6 months in advance. That's insane. So I'll let you know. Bengaluru is probably where it's gonna be. I don't know when yet. Part of me wants to like catch like the Diwali parties and stuff like that because there's a lot of them. Okay. So here, I'm currently doing data engineering internship using PySpark, Postgres, and AWS RDS. What would you recommend learning? And do you have any project recommendations? No, project recommendations are things that you need to figure out. Go and find a project in a data set that you care about. Aksha, when are you planning to come to Melbourne? Like, I may or may not be coming to Melbourne. Like, we'll see. Like, it would be like I'm trying to get the right group of people together to go to the Data Eng Bytes conference. And so if you go look at that, we're in Melbourne on one of those days, and like that may happen. So if that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, then we can figure out something else, you know. So and I don't know when I'd be coming to Melbourne if I don't catch that conference, because there's no reason to go to Melbourne otherwise. Okay, let's say this one. What does it take to move from senior to staff to DE? Like leadership, soft skills, planning, architecture, like all the shit that like is hard and that like is not like you can't just like leak code your way through it, I guess. Those are going to be the best ones. What do you think are the top qualities that make up a staff engineer? Those things, yeah. Willingness to compromise, willingness to hear people out, right? And hoping you can delegate too. Delegation is super important. I have been approached by Airbnb because I work with Spark, Java, Scala, but have not done an interview. How should I prepare for Airbnb data engineering interview? There was it was data modeling heavy. I was like, I don't know. Like, also know that like I interviewed with Airbnb like 4 years ago. So like, is the interview the same? Maybe. And so, because especially that Paul left, like it's a little bit different now at Airbnb, I feel, but like, yeah, you want to know data structures and algorithms. You want to know data modeling, right? Definitely know Spark kind of through and through, right? Let's see here. I don't know. What's your opinion about the whole Delta versus Iceberg debate? I like Iceberg a lot. I think Iceberg is going to win. The tabular acquisition is going to be the thing that's going to kind of throw out, and you're going to see that like Databricks is going to be supporting Iceberg a lot more heavily, which is cool. I was one of the first users of Iceberg, so like I'm a little bit emotionally invested into Iceberg. So like, but at the same time, it's a good technology, and they're going to merge. That's my perspective. I'm hoping that like Iceberg versus Delta is actually a signal that the whole data lake environment is kind of converging on this idea that we are all going to just use Iceberg, right? Because Snowflake is kind of already supporting Iceberg quite a bit, right? So that's going to be a really solid thing to do, right? Okay, let's see here. Is it worth learning Snowflake for DE? Yes. Like, just learn SQL. Like, you don't even really need to learn Snowflake. Just learn SQL. Because if you know SQL, guess what? You can do BigQuery. You can do Snowflake. You can do freaking all of it. It's all the same. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if y'all know, but like Spark SQL, Snowflake, and BigQuery are the same. They're the same. They're essentially the same. Like the differences between these three platforms are actually very, very minimal. And so that's a thing to remember, right? And so like you just need to learn the SQL and learn how to move the data around, and then you're done. It's great. It's actually like that's when people are like, oh, there's so much technology to learn in data engineering, and I'm like, no, there's not. No, there's not. How to prepare for the system design DE interview. Read my newsletter. I have very in-depth newsletters about every single one of these things, right? So I will put my newsletter on the up there, right? So if you not that one, this one. So yeah, if you go to blog.dataengineer.io, you can get my newsletter, and it's $10. You can get $10, and you can learn about how to pass every different type of interview in depth. I have several thousand-word articles on data structures and algorithms, system design, data architecture, behavioral interviews, the SQL interview, the data modeling interview. Like, it's all there. It's $10, and so like if you want to learn just go there, and I promise you're gonna have a good time there. So let's see here. Yeah. Okay, let's say here. Oh no. What data engineering tech stack are important to learn for ML and ML ops? Spark and freaking Iceberg. I don't know. Like that's it really. And maybe how to orchestrate things like Airflow, like run a job on a schedule. If you do those things, I think you're going to be great. So let's see here. One second. I need to get a glass of water. My freaking mouth is dry. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. What's your opinion on open source tools versus managed tools? Because so many managed service providers who provide wrappers around these tools, which are highly efficient and easily manageable. Your review? I mean, yeah, just use platforms, dude. I mean, unless you're Facebook and Google, just use platforms. Don't build your own platform. I mean, I've spent the last year trying to build my own data engineering platform, and it fucking sucks. It's not worth it. And so yeah, just use platforms. How do you deal with annoying Databricks notebooks with 40 plus notebooks in a workflow? That's like, you know, what's funny is that is something that like I feared, because Netflix actually pioneered the idea of scheduling a notebook, and it's terrible. I don't know. Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, why are we running shit in production that's like doesn't use Git, right? Doesn't use version control. Like, it is just like, or it has like its own like sketchy, not freaking Git version control. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, and I'm like, and then we don't just schedule one. We freaking like put them all together and we just add like bad practice on top of bad practice. I don't know. Like, I've always found that that's a pretty rough thing here. Okay, this is a good one. Can you explain CI/CD in data engineering? So CI/CD is a way to essentially test your pipelines before they go into production. So you want to be able to, you get a set of fake input data. So say you put in like 5 rows of fake input data, and then you say like, okay, when this pipeline runs and we give it this data, it should output this data, right? And then you have to model out the expected output as well. And then this runs every time you try to change your pipeline code. Because then if you like edit the SQL query or you edit something and then it changes the result, it will fail and tell you. And then you can't update until you fix the test or you fix your code. And this allows, when you're doing code review, like that you get a lot more confidence, right? Let's say, is it really worth it to learn Spark streaming when you can do Kafka streaming? That's a great question. Like, I think so. Like, you got to understand that, like, it's just like saying, is it worth learning Scala? The answer is maybe. Is it worth learning any technology? Is it worth learning Solidity and blockchain development? Maybe, right? You got to understand that that's the thing about all this stuff is that, yeah, there's going to always be an easy button for a lot of things, Akshat. Like, always, there's always an easy button, and Kafka streaming is easier. And like, that's actually something I was using. Spark streaming is a little bit better in terms of like its windowing capabilities and some of its checkpointing and windowing capabilities than Kafka streaming is. And Spark streaming can also use more than just Kafka. I think that that's a big thing that people forget about, is that Spark streaming can also like plug in with WebSocket. It can also plug in with RSS feed. It can plug in with like all these other things. Whereas Kafka streaming is very, very, I don't know, it's very like just stuck to Kafka, right? And so like, you got to understand that like you might not just be having that as your data source. Most of the time in data engineering, it is your data source. So that's why like you ask this question and your question has some validity. But at the same time, it's like Spark streaming has a little bit more versatility to it. Let's say here, this guy's asking, can we do a project together? We could talk about it backdoor. I mean, I would need to know more. Like, so many people want to work with me and do stuff with me, and like I'd have to have a clear ROI. If you can send me a DM on LinkedIn, let's talk about it. Like, maybe we can do something. Like, okay, let's find another one here. Can you name few of the niche skills in data engineering, either in the current industry or something you are anticipating in the future. Vector database, I feel like y'all should just know how to use vector databases. It's really easy. It's really, really easy. It's kind of niche though. It's still niche. Master data management is another one. Data architecture, another big one. Like, I don't know. Like, I know you want me to name tech. I'm not going to name tech right now. I'm going to name skills. But those are going to be the skills. Zach, I like working with software and data. Do you think I am going to like more DE or ML? I'm just trying to pick a career. You're going to like ML more. Like, and the reason why you're going to like ML more, well, I'll put the thing back up here. If like you are a data engineer who's more software focused, or like you like data and software, then like data engineering is going to be too data focused for you. And you probably want to do machine learning. All right. Is there any discount on your bootcamp for people in Canada? I can get you 25% off right now if you used code June 26th. It's right there on the screen. So yeah, that discount is available. Like, and you don't get more for being in Canada. That's that's about the same discount as the Canadian discount would be. What skills a junior data engineer need to get the first job? SQL, Python, Airflow. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of Spark, a little bit of AWS. Is LeetCode or StrataScratch better for clearing SQL portion of Facebook virtual interviews? Just do NeetCode, bro. NeetCode 75 and just grind it out. And like, I'm trying to build that platform too. Like, we should do that together. If y'all like want to work with me on how to build a better coding platform, I already have it kind of. Like, if y'all check out, like, go to dataexpert.io/questions, right? So let's put this on the screen real quick. So if you go to dataexpert.io/questions, you can practice your SQL there for free. I want to get more in there. So let's see here. Any good resource to learn job orchestration fundamentals? My bootcamp. Does your bootcamp cover system design? And how do I avail the discount in India? DM me on LinkedIn. Yeah. Like, let's see here. Yeah, exactly. P, you're saying like SQL, not DSA. Yeah, I mean, mine is all freaking just SQL oriented, right? Okay, let's see what else here. Okay, what's easier, transition from SWE to DE or ML DE to SWE? Like, that's a weird question. It's a very weird question because in my mind, ML and SWE are the same thing. Like, at Facebook, like, machine learning engineers and software engineers are essentially the same thing. Like you apply machine learning with software. That's what a machine learning engineer is. So SWE to MLE. I mean, I think you might be meaning more like full stack to MLE or something like that. And so I think that's going to be the main thing, right? Let's say this guy is asking a very specific question. Hey, I've seen some of your videos that you filter the user table by snapshot TS. If I use SCD approach on that table, it is not necessary to filter by that snapshot TS, right? Well, if you use the latest snapshot of your SCD table, then yeah, you can do that. But like, I like to have partitioned SCD tables because sometimes you fuck up and sometimes like your pipeline doesn't work. So you need yesterday's data, and recreating slowly changing dimensions is a pain in the ass. So it's better to hold on to like a week of SCD. So you have today's data, yesterday's, the day before, the day before, the day before. And most of that data is duplicative because like it's a slowly changing dimension. But like then if you want to model just the latest data, then you don't need that filter. You're totally right. But I have a partitioned SCD table, which is better and more resilient to failures. Do you recommend taking the AWS Certified Data Engineer course? Just like, no, I recommend you take my bootcamp. That's what I'm going to say. Let's see here. How much time do you give to learning new stuff every day or week? I mean, I don't do enough right now. I feel like right now I'm just grinding everything out and I'm just trying to build and grow. And like, I'm not really learning as much right now. I feel like I need to get back. I mean, at one point I was doing like 15 hours, right? Best company to work for DE, dataexpert.io. Do we have something like SCD for fact table? No. You could have like, you can have like aggregated facts that like where then the line gets blurry. But the thing about a fact table is a fact doesn't change, right? A fact isn't slowly changing, right? For example, you woke up at 8 a.m. today or something like that, right? And that fact would never change, right? No matter what changes about you or whatever, the fact that you woke up at 8 a.m. today that's written in stone. That's not going to change, right? And so definitely, it doesn't matter what you do in the future. Like even if you die, right, you still woke up at 8 a.m. It doesn't matter. Like that's written. That's the past, right? So fact tables are not slowly changing. They're not slowly changing. So like, there's other ways you can kind of aggregate facts to make them more manageable and stuff like that, like using like complex data types and arrays and shit like that I've definitely used at Facebook to minimize like data processing times and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see here. Accumulating snapshots are Kimball's version of a slowly changing. Yeah, like you're saying accumulating snapshots, you continually just like have one gigantic partition table, right? Where you just keep bringing all the data forward, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see here. Okay, is Hive still worth it to study in today's market? Yes, there's so many freaking companies on Hive, but like it really just depends on like where you're trying to get in at, right? It's like if you're trying to get in big tech, probably not, right? Do you teach ML ops in your course? I teach data quality, which is a big part of ML ops. It's the biggest part of ML ops, actually. I don't know if you knew that. But like, yeah. And then I also teach about LLM. I also teach about RAG and how to build retrieval augmented generation systems. And I teach about a lot of really cool stuff, right? Okay. This is a good one. Any source to learn Apache Airflow for free? This is what you call asking Google. This is not what you call Ask Zach. All right. How much math is important as a skill in DE? I have a bachelor's degree in math, and I think it's helped me a lot, right? I don't think that it's like, oh, I used all these calculus theorems, therefore, like they were absolutely required. But like the math teaches you a mindset to just excel, right? Any tips for acing Facebook first round? Just breathe, right? And remember that you need to get at least 4. You need 4 SQL and 4 Python questions, essentially, to do that, right? And it's a good time. Don't use Java. I used Java in my Facebook first round and almost fucking died. So like, don't use Java. Use Python. Let's see here. I've been working in a DE team for 3 years and feeling saturated. Is this a common feeling? Yeah, go learn new shit. If you're feeling saturated, that means you are becoming irrelevant. You are losing your competitive advantage. You are needing to not be lazy and learn more shit, right? Do you offer any discount on pre-recorded videos? Yeah, it's right on the screen. You can use June 26th and get 25% off right now. And you can get the whole course for $1,400. Or not even $1,400, for like $1,300. It's like freaking really reasonable, right? Mm-hmm. So how many beginner DEs have taken your bootcamp and gotten a data engineer job so far? Well, so hundreds of people have gotten jobs in my bootcamp, 100%. And but beginner DEs are not a very common like archetype for people who are in my course. It's like more like job changers, like data analysts who want to become data engineers, or data engineers who want to get promoted. It's not as much of like, I know nothing about code and I want to be a data engineer. Like if that's you, my course is not for you. My course will go way over your head. And I don't start at the, here's what a select query is. I don't start at the fucking absolute basics, right? So if you are looking for that, that's not what my course is about, right? So just letting y'all know. Do you need a master's to get a job in machine learning? Yes. Like not completely for every role in machine learning, but if you want to be an MLE, like there's a very good chance that you need, you would need that, right? This person like never used Java in a coding test. Yeah. I mean, Java was the language. I just listened to what they said. They said, use the programming language you're the most comfortable in. And that was Java, right? For me back then, I had actually not coded Python at all when I got my job at Facebook, right? So what all do you cover in DE course? I know complex SQL, DBT, and data modeling, but stuck in Spark kind of stuff. Will course be helpful? Yeah, I have 5 hours on Spark. I have 5 hours on Spark streaming. I want to get that content better, but like, yeah, for sure. All of that is in the course as well. And we're going to be making that stuff better as well. Let's see here. Are you planning on making a behavioral mentorship bootcamp sort of to teach people about leadership skills? No, I just think that bootcamp would be so painfully boring. Like, I don't know. Like, I just like, I'm not really going to be doing boot camps as much. I hope y'all recognize that. Like really what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be like inspiring other creators to do boot camps, and I'm just gonna kind of sit back and collect money. Like I hope y'all recognize that. Like that's kind of what's gonna actually happen here. All right. Is there room for crossover with data engineering skills and accounting? I'm an analytics manager in manufacturing. Yeah, analytics manager to DE is freaking super common, right? I think that that's a great freaking option, right? Okay. Thoughts on career opportunities for streaming versus ML in the DE space? Just learn both. Uncle Roger was a data analyst. Would you collaborate with him if possible? I have no. Oh, you're talking about Uncle Rogers? Yeah, he's a beast, dude. Yeah, is bootcamp table of content public? Yeah, if you just go to dataexpert.io, there's a so if you go to dataexpert.io and you look at there's a curricula tab, it shows all the content that is in there, right? Let's go. Right. Yeah, your course is expensive, bro. Yeah, and guess what? There's people, many people who have taken my course who have gotten $50,000 raises, right? $30,000 to $50,000 raise. So it's like if you get a $30,000 raise and I charge $1,700, like I'm asking for 5% of your raise, right? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Does your course offer any value for already senior DEs? There's like it. Yeah. I mean, we talk a lot about architecture. We talk a lot about like soft skills. There's a lot of stuff for sure. That's like it's like there's senior DEs who have gotten a lot of value, right? Saying, can you give your course for free for a random person? Yeah, we can do that. I guess one of the things on this live, I will give away one free course right now. And the thing that I want to do here is what we want to do is you got to go. I'm gonna make a post on LinkedIn real quick, right? And then what we're gonna do is I'll pick one person at random about this, right? So I'm just gonna say, hey, I'm giving away one free course. You have to like this post to get it. Actually, no, wait. What I'm gonna do is let's see here. So I took his course and it changed my career. See, JP, thank you. See, like there's people like JP and Sam took my course and now they're freaking staff engineers and architects, bro. Like freaking, there's people who this is my course has completely changed their life. But okay, so what I'm gonna do is I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a discount code up that will give you 99.9% off, and the first person to freaking use it, you can get the course for like it won't be free, but it will be like $1. Okay, so this will be 99% off, and the first person in, they get it. It's just how it works. So we're saying this coupon can be used once. And we're gonna say we're gonna call this 90. Okay. 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 So we have a coupon code that I'm going to be putting on the screen here momentarily, and whoever gets in, and then they can get the course for 99.9% off. So it will be like $1, right? So here is the coupon code 99. So if you use that coupon code at checkout, first person in gets it. There's one spot. So yeah, congratulations on joining my live. Sometimes you get blessed, right? You get blessed, and I'm excited for whoever is the fastest person to do that. That's literally the most ridiculous promotion thing I've ever done. Okay, how can you start a project without having to spend tons of money on? Okay, this one. How can you start a project without having to spend tons of money on Azure and other platforms? I'm an analyst and want to start learning. If you can't invest $50 a month into your learning, then like data engineering is not for you, bro. Like you should probably, dude. Oh, amazing, dude. This guy got it. Arjun got it, dude. Welcome, Arjun. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that you joined the live today. I'm so happy that you're about to learn a lot. You just got access to like 150 hours of just absolutely fire freaking data engineering content. So glad you were here. So glad you can make it. And this is just, keep in mind that this is just another incentive to stick around and be in these lives so that you can just get thousands of dollars of value for free. So yeah, it's going to be great. I have like another 15 minutes and then, I gotta dip out of this live, but let's see here. So is Kimball data modeling dead? No. I think that it's really actually a vibe, right? I've used Kimball data modeling quite a bit, and I think it's going to be around. I think that like one big table is a well-needed advancement on top of Kimball that I think is going to be it. That's going to be great, right? Oh my God, everyone is like freaking out. I love it. Yep. Oh, apparently I did not. You entered as expired and been removed from your order. Somebody got in, right? I mean, okay, well, I can see who got in. So somebody bought it, right? Like, what the hell? Like, did 3 people actually get in here? 1 second, I gotta see what the hell happened, dude. Did it just like not go through? Okay, wait a minute. That person bought at 12.20, and this is freaking just the full price though, right? Cool, amazing. What, like, okay, I see who got in. I see someone who got in. Yeah, Thiogo. Okay, hold up. It's actually this person's name. Let me put him in. This is the person who actually got in. Yeah, there we go. This is the person who got in right there, right? Yep. So let's see what happens here, right? I accidentally purchased full, dude. Y'all like, if you put the coupon in, that's freaking what's up, y'all. I mean, like, freaking Stripe's only gonna charge you if you actually have the coupon in, right? So just letting y'all know that that's what was the vibe there. So I mean, like maybe Stripe like fucked up really badly there, but I mean, I can yeah, I'm not gonna get y'all freaking like, you got a refund. I'm not gonna give y'all 99. I'm not giving everyone here 99% off. Sorry. Like I can see what to do here, but apparently that was a big mistake. Stripe fucks up right there. If everyone did that right. Yeah, for sure. Well, I can give a discount. I can refund some people, like, if so that it's not full price. I can give you that 25% off right there. That's been on the screen the whole time, right? That's freaking, that can be a vibe, right? So we can definitely talk and see what happens, right? So there's definitely a lot of good value here that can happen, right? But yeah, we want to say congratulations, Thiago Heron. You got in. It's freaking great. And yeah, but that coupon is now out. Let's see here. How did starting a company change your view about the tech industry? That I just never want to work in big tech ever again. Like, yeah, for sure. And that's the main thing, that like I recognize that I can just do stuff like this and make a bunch of sales, and like then being a vibe. Yeah, like, so let's see here. Let's see here. Who else has some questions? Like, do we have separate pricing, as we don't have salaries in that range, right? Is James from Pavilion? You're still doing full stack courses? We're doing full stack soon. Yeah, it's not quite done. I have the domain, right? I actually have the domain, and we're going to be releasing this pretty soon. We have fullstackexpert.io. It's going to be freaking a vibe. But like, I haven't quite gotten it out there, right? So we'll see what happens here. And there's definitely some things to do, and we can see what happens. But just letting y'all know, is there a way to make these monthly payments rather than giving one go? That's a good one. So you can do Klarna. So Klarna is a payment plan that allows you to, I think you can do it in 3 or 4 payments instead of monthly payments. You can do like 3 or 4, right? Any Golang, we're doing TypeScript for full stack. Yeah, Golang is too niche. Golang is the wrong play, because Golang is just like doing those like super niche courses. It's like, okay, like I'm gonna make my course to have fewer people, make less money, right? But I'm just doing it because Go is a good language, right? I mean, I'd do that if like Google paid me or something like that, but like I'm not gonna like do that, right? I'm gonna use, that's why I'm always about using Spark, AWS, just like the most highly adopted thing, right? Amazing. I'm so glad, Thiogo, that you got in, and I'm glad that you are in the course now, and I'm excited for you to learn and see what happens there, right? So it's a good time. It's a very good time. See here, please upload on YouTube more frequently. Love your videos on big data engineering. Yeah, you're gonna love. Don't worry, I have a plan. I actually I have a plan, and I'm excited to announce one other thing that I'm doing right now. So y'all need to like pay attention for this. So, and I'm starting to release a lot of YouTube videos, right? Starting on July 8th. So from July 8th to what I'd say here, August 31st. That's going to be like 2 months, right? I actually have already filmed a YouTube video for every single day from July 8th to August 31st. And I will be publishing a YouTube video every single day for 2 months straight. And yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And it's already done. So the dependency right now is not whether or not I film it. The dependency is what, like, just getting it edited and polished. So by the end of the summer, I should have like way more content, way more content on YouTube. The thing is YouTube pays absolute dog shit. That's one of the things that I don't like about it, though, right? Is what I'm trying to do is right now, the last piece of the puzzle for me is I want to get a sponsor. Because I think what I can do is I can probably get between $2,000 to $3,000 a video, right? And I'm going to be publishing like 50, 55 videos, right? And yeah, every single day, a lot of content. Wow. Yep, it's all data engineering. All of it. All of it. It's all data engineering, hands-on exercises, example projects. It's all free. Because a lot of y'all are like, what's going on here, right? They're like, when's the next boot camp? And I'm like, well, why don't I just film something and make it so that y'all are even more excited, right? And so like because that's the whole idea here is I'm just trying to build into stuff, like, and build into like a space where things are gonna go. And we will be announcing like the sales for the V4 boot camp as well. Or not the V4, V5, like the 2025 boot camp. We will be announcing those sales pretty soon as well. A lot of this is still a little bit in motion, but I'm excited. So I have another thing that I want to announce, right? So this is not quite there yet, but we are close. I'm just going to send you the links right now. So I'm also going to be releasing a platform for other creators to build courses. We will be beta launching next week or the week after, right? Yeah, Cloud Labs are integrated in the bootcamp. Yeah, we use AWS Glue. We use Iceberg, right? It's great. Yeah. So, is there any planned with Apache Iceberg topics? Not in the content I'm publishing. No, but my bootcamp has that for sure. Let's see here. So, Tech Creator, I just want to put that one back up. So, if you're doing Tech Creator, it's great, right? I am dying right now. Full stack expert. How much did you pay for that thing? Dude, it was $30. $30. And I was like, I have to get it. It's $30. Like, why would I not get it? Right. And like, I want to get more. I just want to be a fiend. Right. I just want to get all of them. And we'll see what happens. Right. How would you recommend to start learning Spark? Download it and play around with it, and try to build a pipeline with it, and use ChatGPT to answer your questions, and it will probably get you pretty far. Love your videos. Are surrogate keys still relevant in 2024? If you're doing any sort of complicated matching or any complicated joins or matching, then surrogate keys is great, right? Yeah. So let's see here. We have, what's your source of knowledge? I worked in big tech for 10 years, essentially, like 8 years, long time. And I'm just like done. And now I'm not in big tech. Now I'm slowly becoming irrelevant. That's why I have to publish videos so I don't become irrelevant, right? And make boot camps, and it's great. Yeah. Yeah, you see, I loved when your videos appeared on some Databricks Summit talks on last week. Yeah, dude, that was nuts. Like when I got the call. So like that's another thing I'm working on is Databricks wants me to build a lot more like data engineering content on Databricks. They really want me to. And like I'm literally talking with the founders about it. And so there could be like a Databricks focused boot camp as well. That would probably be pretty nice. I will only do that for a lot of money, like because I'm not gonna do vendor content like that. Like it's great, right? King Carlos, you are absorbing Clement little by little. Freaking ridiculous, man. How we start DSA from basic to advanced. Is there any YouTube video? There's a thing called Leak Code. And maybe even, neutral. Hey, Zach, am I going to be able to get a full refund for that discount error? I mean, let's talk about it. Like, I mean, definitely send me an email and we can get through stuff. I can't probably get you a full refund. I can get you everything minus processing fees though, but we'll see what happens for sure. Can you tell them to make the Databricks dashboard better? Yeah, I mean, I can do that. Like there's going to be a lot of really solid possibilities there with the Databricks dashboards, but like, I don't know. I'm only one guy. I can only say so much, right? What do you recommend for junior DE working remotely instead of on-site? Have a million one-on-ones. Just have as many one-on-ones as you can and ask all the stupid questions and recognize that like, because you're remote, you're going to need to do that a lot more because you can't just absorb the knowledge through osmosis like you can when you're not remote. So that would be freaking, that's kind of the vibe. What's the most cost effective between building data warehouse on-prem and in the cloud? Just use the cloud. Like what you pay, you'll save a little bit of money in cloud costs, or in cloud costs if you use on-prem, but what you freaking pay, or what you save, you pay in engineering, right? You pay in engineering, so. Yep, so Iceberg or Delta Lake? Iceberg, I don't know. What does a middle need to know to call himself a senior? Leadership skills, architecture, I don't know. Does Data Expert have a Discord community or something like that? Yeah, we do. It's paid though. There's a massive Discord community of everyone who's bought the bootcamp, and they're highly motivated to learn and push each other to grow. So yeah, I mean, but then I also have another Discord community that that I can get y'all an invite to right now. I will do that. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 freaking second. Okay, let's copy that and then move it here. And so this is the other, I have like an exactly data engineering community as well. That's like less data expert focused, but that's going to be the other one. That's like the free and open community. So we're going to be doing more stuff there as well. So it should be a pretty good time. So I can probably take like 1 or 2 more questions, and then we can, then I got to get heading out. Let's see here. Okay. If you were to, how often should you pull data? You should pull data freaking once a day or hourly, probably. If you were doing web scraping tasks, what tools would you use? Puppeteer. So there's Puppeteer, there's freaking, what are the other ones? Like Selenium. There's a lot of other automations, right? So just send me a DM. Send me a DM, and I can get you a discount. Are you co-authoring any books like Joe did about fundamentals of data engineering? Writing a book just sounds like a lot of work, and like I have not like collaborated with people yet, right? Okay, where can I find data for my projects? Google interesting REST APIs, and just have fun and go nuts. All right. Will AI affect data engineering jobs? Yes. Every job is going to be affected, right? Best data catalog, Tabular. The Tabular freaking data catalog is really awesome. Let's see here. Thoughts on self-serve architectures like data mesh and stuff like that? I mean, it's a lot of it's just pie in the sky. A lot of it is like, yeah, like we can have people do that, right? Can someone paste the Discord? Here's the Discord link one more time. I get that it's like kind of freaking busted, but like if you want to just look at it, right? It's good. Min salary to live in Bay Area, family of 4, probably 300K. I don't know, like 250, 300K. Like best entry-level job to get experience for ML, software engineer, data engineer, I don't know, data scientist. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. All right, everyone. I think I'm gonna kill the stream now. Hope y'all have a fantastic time. Thank you so much for taking the time and energy to vibe with me today.